I am supportive of deportation in many cases, but I have a different view of it that I hope this video reaches some of the right ears to consider. And I don't want to slow down any progress. I think we have to be resolute in what we're doing here. But I think that the Democrat leaders invited a lot of people here and in a sense granted amnesty. So I think there are a lot of people that came here not realizing they're breaking a law. So I think there's those, but I do think we need to be resolute in getting out people. We need to hold the Democrat leaders, before I say that, should hold Democrat leaders accountable and countries accountable who emptied their prisons and sent people to our country as an attack on America. And we have to assess that the Democrat leaders may have co-partnered with that. They knew what was going on. They may have even conspired it. You have to assume that's possible. I don't know how much time we should waste on that, going back instead of moving forward on some things. But I think that was an attack by the countries who emptied their prisons and sent their people here. That's an attack. But as for other people, there are a lot of people who, I'm sure there's some people out there who came here wanting better jobs because they were told it's okay to come here. So that I don't think they knew they're breaking the law. So I think there's a few people like that, but it's hard to know who's who. And sometimes the wealthier people came here on their own as haters of America and trying to vote freedom out of America, which is, in my opinion, a vote for the Democrat Party, which is, that's my opinion. I'm allowed to say my opinion. Should be allowed to say my opinion. And so I don't think that the Republicans are a threat to a democratic republic, but the Democrats have never fully wanted a democratic republic ever since they lost the Civil War. So anyway, but that's our history that people don't know much about. They don't know that the Republicans ended slavery. I'll just throw that in there. But my point is that, first of all, I do think we should, as fast as we can, go after murderers, people who have murdered since they've been here, people who were committed murders before they came here. And that's, it's unfortunate we can't account for everybody who may have acted in self-defense and got thrown in jail in Venezuela, and then the prisons were emptied and they came here and they're happy to have a second chance because they weren't judged properly in Venezuela or the Congo and other countries that emptied their prisons and sent them here. And, but I mean, we have to do a blanket in order to be resolute with so many people that did come here trying to hurt America. We have to be resolute. And I think we should go after people who are known for murder. We should go after the gangs, specifically prioritizing those who brought fentanyl in if they know who did, but they have to go after cartel, and to send them back out of the country. And that's wrong that the Democrats let them in. It's wrong that they let gangs in. Those gangs came in with bad intentions or with greedy intentions. And a lot of them hate America, maybe. I don't know if certain gangs do and certain gangs don't. I don't know how that goes. So we need to go after people who are known rapists. We have to go after people who are sex trafficking, especially child slavery. There's also child slavery. There's weird things, a lot of different things we don't really think about. But they'll bring young people. I mean, there could be some bizarre stuff I hadn't thought of. I'm not saying that it's this exactly, but when they offered to pay for transgender surgeries and for people who come to come here, maybe they were allowing for adoption and other things in those situations. And those are not people who care about the child or having a child and raising them, trying to make them have the most normal, natural family they can. Those are people who are raising a child for the government, for a government that doesn't want freedom, a side of government that doesn't want freedom anymore. So that's you could call it a form of, it's not the proper choice for a child to have. We'll say that. I won't get into that. So, I mean, there's a lot of people that for people, Palestinians who are here that came illegally, protest, even though they were invited by the Democrats, but they were here through the immigration illegally, even though they were given permission by Democrats. and they were at colleges protesting and hating on Israel and calling against it. They don't want a two-state solution. They just want them gone off the face of the earth. These Palestinian protesters against Israel were protesting in that kind of fashion. They should be sent out, I think. I think they came here to continue promoting hate for Israel and as a hate group. And Jews, I guess, they hate Jews and they hate Israel. And the Democrat leaders a lot of the Democrat leaders, particularly the ones that were defending that. I think I've seen Kamala defend that, and I've seen a couple of other leaders specifically at rallies defending them and disrupting college campuses and to hate on Israel. Well, those people are here for the wrong reasons. So that's not, but also the Democrat leadership should be held accountable for that as well. So that's my take on it. Those are the people to go after first. I think definitely go after those first, and you're going to run into other people. The people that are working on all this are going to run into other folks who might not have come here with bad intentions, but and then because you run into them while you're finding the ones that did come in with bad intentions, you run into these other ones, and it's obvious, then they may have to be deported. But we're acting like it's the worst thing in the world, but they came from somewhere. They had a place they were living before they came here. Think about that. I mean, they really got you feeling sorry for them, like, oh, they're separating families. Well, the same people saying that support separating families at birth with same-sex marriage laws. They separate them from their mother or father with those same-sex marriage laws. And they separate children from their father by making same-sex marriage laws, bottom line. And they don't care about it, that separation. So they're running a game here. They do know a lot of these people have places they can go back to, and but some of the things specifically in emptying prisons and sending them here, that was an attack of multiple countries. You think about it being an attack of multiple countries on our country to send serial killers here and other people out of prisons. And then our leaders also left the doors open to spies from other countries. Like you always hear about Russian spies, but all countries have spies. And it's all of them. So Russian spies could be here through the illegal border. Chinese spies could be here, all kinds of spies, right? And that's a more sophisticated thing. Whatever they spy on with our government or whatever it is, or military or military operations or whatever they do. But the Democrat leaders are responsible for that. They're guilty of that. And they're guilty of the fact that they knew multiple countries emptied their prisons, from what I understand. You can't call that misinformation, because I'm saying that's what I have heard and understand. I know of two. I've heard specifically of two countries, and one the most. So I'm pretty sure it's correct information, but you wouldn't hear about it that much if it didn't have some validity. But Venezuela the most, I heard, and then I've heard Congo specifically emptied their prisons into our countries, and I've heard it stated by somebody that there were multiple countries. That's something for somebody else to study. I'm addressing the subject. But if that's the case, that multiple countries emptied their prisons and were sending them to America, and then the Democrats are still supporting open borders, then the fact that our Democrat leaders team up with all those countries to send 20 prisons. You know what? There's more than one prison per country, by the way. So I don't know how many prisons they emptied in each country. But you could say 20 countries emptied all their prisons and sent them here. They did that. Did they do that? I don't know. They had to pay their way, I'm sure, a lot of times. And so they probably did pay their way. We don't want you on our streets hurting our people. Venezuela, I've heard this from Trump on a Trump speech, that their crime's at a record low after sending all their prisoners here. Well, they probably paid to send their prisoners here, and with that in mind, to lower so they didn't necessarily do it specifically for an attack, but they were like, we can dump our prisoners in America because the Democrats let us, and so maybe it wasn't a conspiracy, but on the Democrat end, it's almost like a conspiracy that they told 100 countries, you could say they allowed, if they wanted to, 100 countries to empty all their prisons and send them to America to help destroy our country. I'm going to end right there.